What is going on, everyone? Thanks for checking out my final video of 2024. You know I had to go out with a bang. We have Royal New Kent Golf Club in Providence Forge, Virginia. This is right outside of the Richmond area, and I'm just a man of the people. I had to save the best for last, and this was, as you can see on the screen, this was like the #1 asked about, or people told me to go check out in the state of Virginia. And Royal New Kent, as you can see on the screen, it definitely is a must play. I can't remember the last time that I walked away from a golf course thinking, what a crazy experience. Now, the downside, as you can see in the top left, it's 38 degrees, and I had to pick a random day to try and squeeze this in before the end of the year. So the good news is, when it's that cold, not a lot of idiots on the course like myself. So I was a solo, I was able to fly through. Now, the downside, it's 38 degrees. The ball doesn't move. It wasn't great when you can't feel your fingers. It's not exactly fun or ideal. We'll get into that throughout the round. The good news is it's at least sunny. It's a beautiful day to be alive, and I am so excited to check out this course. And depending on when you're checking this video out, I am dropping it the week of Christmas, so happy holidays to everyone if you're checking this out. But as we're reflecting with another year ending upon us, and another year of YouTube under my belt, I think for those that have maybe followed me on my journey, I'm just a small YouTuber that is just passionate about the game. I'm trying to just spread the game of golf in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area where I reside, and my goal is to try and vlog every single public course, maybe private ones if they'll let me, but I want to vlog every course in the state of Virginia, and ideally some of the local ones in DC and Maryland as well. But I really just want to grow this game, help the golf community out. Hopefully these vlogs are helpful for you all. With all that being said, shoot your boy a quick sub, or maybe you can drop a comment, leave a like. Seriously, it means the world to me, and it's what keeps me going, because these videos do take a lot of time, and I appreciate the feedback, the chatter, the comment. Really keeps light at the end of the tunnel. But speaking of supporting your local YouTuber DMV people, I'm a big fan of supporting local. So here's a quick plug for one of my local DMV buddies who's also passionate about the game, and he wants to share his passion through a clothing line he started called Ateneo Golf. And for all the Filipinos out there, maybe this has you understand the meaning behind it, but check out his website, check out the clothing here. He has different styles, different collections, whether if it's wintertime with hoodies, long sleeves, joggers, all the way to shorts, polos, and t-shirts, hats, you name it. I mentioned this is dropping during Christmas. This sweatshirt's what I just bought my wife. She loves it. She's been wearing it ever since we purchased it. I may or may not be wearing this hat as I'm filming the video. Did I get paid off to make that plug? Who knows? But what I can tell you is, all seriousness, check out his website. I'll try to link it in the description box. Awesome merch. And hey, if you forgot a Christmas gift for someone, go check it out, get it shipped. I'm sure he'll take care of you. Now, on to the golf itself. I think you all remember that it's absolutely freezing outside. It was like 39 degrees at tee off, and so that actually played a huge factor amongst other things. So one of the weird things about this course, and I don't understand why this is the case, but I think the tee boxes were like 6,200-ish with the white tees that I'm playing, and then the next set of boxes is 6,700. Now, 6,700 is definitely long, and I'm not a long hitter, as you all probably know, but I have no problem playing 66, 67. I can definitely play, compete, and be fine, but when it's 38, 39 degrees outside and it's gonna go nowhere, 6,700 kind of becomes like 7,000. 6,200 that I chose will probably be playing like 65, and then to top it off, I've never played this course before, so I'm playing a lot of it blind. Speaking of the word blind, apparently what this course is notorious for is a lot of blind shots, but in addition to my voiceover, you're going to hear me do a lot of on-course narration, so I'll try to do a good job balancing, but the first one is coming in hot in just a moment, so hopefully you like this style too. A little bit of on-course, a little bit of voiceover narration, but let me know what you think for 2025. Last approach shot was from down there. I think I showed you it was about 90 yards, probably playing like 105, 110. Not a bad start, not a bad look for birdie, but that's the clubhouse tee box there. What a gorgeous course so far. All right, let's go ahead and start with a bird, huh? Let's be absolutely clear about something, and I do this every video, and I always shame myself for it. Zero time on the putting green, zero time warming up on the range. It was so cold. I was like, F this, let's just go. I have to imagine being a nicer course. I respected the greens. It's also really tough because when it's really, really cold, there are actually a few tee boxes I struggled trying to put the tee down into the ground for my driver. But when it's really cold, I don't know how the greens will react. Are they going to be receptive? Are they not? And by the way, look at this.
This is gorgeous.
Now, I think the tagline of Royal New Kent is like Golf, Ireland, and Virginia. So that's kind of their thing here. Their experience is they're trying to take you to Ireland style ish type golf here in VA. And for someone who's ever been to Ireland or played golf in Ireland, I can't tell you one way or the other, but I'm sure some people are probably like, hey, Mark, this is the equivalent of taking an Australian person to Outback Steakhouse and saying that's authentic cuisine. Yeah, who knows? My point I'm trying to make, I couldn't tell you one way or the other how this stacks up, but what I can tell you is this was probably the most unique golf experience that I've had in the year of 2024 and in the state of Virginia. Now, is it my favorite course? I don't know, but I can tell you it's the most unique. Just a lot of the little things, blind tee shots, even to the experience. Staff was great, the Ireland touch here and there, but anyway, interesting shot coming up.
Decision time, decision time. Smart play is probably layup. Just cut across maybe 100 yards. I got 209 to the pin. It looks like about a 195-ish carry. I can get there if I clock this good. We're gonna go for it, why not?
And you guys got to remember, I haven't played this course, and it's also freezing. I don't know how the ball will fly. I don't know if 209 is playing like 230 because of the cold. So, you know, there are certain shots that I'm a little hesitant with.
Okay, last shot was over that hill. I got super lucky that I hit it good. I just pulled the hell out of it and I got away with it. So you can see that I'm in line with like the crap. So the pull was actually good. I probably would have gone OB, but now we have a really tricky shot. I'm happy I went for it, but this is not a fun shot by any stretch of the imagination.
And one of the things I was really worried about when it's super cold, I'm a very handsy player, so yes, I do have the winter gloves on, which help, but I was worried about how wedges in particular would feel when I'm playing today. So luckily, it wasn't too bad, but again, just one of those little things of battling the elements.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. I had to go upstairs with it because these greens are cold and hard. They're not sticking. So I probably can't play lower wedge shots. We're gonna have to do small bump and runs. Really, really good look at birdie. Let's not waste this, please.
All right, here we go. So we have our first, I think it was right under 4 feet. It's like 3 to 3.5 feet that we have here. There was nothing too much in it. I had it going a little bit left, but if I put good pace on it, I think it would just go right in. You can see that it kind of just died and snap hooked. That one hurts. Not gonna lie to you guys. Missing 3.5 footers on camera, never good and easy to watch again. And you can see just for my own sanity, I took it over. I just needed more pace. It was a lot straighter, just like I thought. But player B is on tour, right? And yeah, that's what I get for not putting, not really being warmed up. But we got to remember, it's hole 2. We parred it. Nothing wrong with the par. So let's continue on. So we have a pretty cool par 3. I got destroyed on the par 3s today. I'm kind of spoiling what happens here. You can see I snap hook. Now, maybe is the argument is the missed little bunny on the last hole lingering in my head, lingering in my brain. You can see that I wanted to show, you can see me just running over to the ball. I did speed it up, obviously, but it's just to show you like how ridiculous this course is. You see the slopes, the elevations. I'm lucky that it hung on, but I could see like when this is in peak conditions and maybe the rough isn't as dead as it was and it's a little more grabby, that would have been like an impossible flop shot. I actually hit a pretty good one to about 15 feet, and what an absolute misread. I think my logic from the last hole was like, just be firm, get it there because you didn't before. And I don't know what I was doing there. An absolute brain fart. I didn't even look. I just walked up and hit it. So bad. I gave myself that last putt, sue me. So we end up with a double bogey with a really bad 3 putt. You're going to see later on in the video, I actually leave. I overthink really short putts moving forward. That was like a little brain lapse, brain fart. But moving on again, we have a shorter par 4. And again, you're going to see the theme today is shorter par 4. So spoiler alert, I actually play pretty well, all things considered, in terms of cold, never playing it, don't really know the misses, etc., etc. But I actually score pretty decently, and I'm convinced. I think there is something to when you don't know the course, you don't tend to overthink it.
I caught it a tad heavy, but should be pretty good. All right, not terrible. It's a lot shorter than I thought. I guess it was a lot heavier than I thought. Good thing I took extra club. Technically not a green. You can see it's on the fringe. We got, I don't know, 25, 30 feet. Fast greens, cold. But why not? Why not us? You know, why not?
And to continue my thought from what I was mentioning earlier, so when you've never played a course and you don't know it, there's actually some sort of just like comfort and relief on not having too much pressure. Like, I need to miss here, I need to land it there. I kind of just looked at the mini map on my phone and took a guess, and it's just comical looking back on things, and you'll see it throughout. I'll try to call it out later on in the video. There are a few shots, a few drives where you're like, Mark, did you like place that off camera because it's too perfect to be where it was? And again, it's just one of those things where maybe if you don't know where it is, you're not overthinking it, you just swing more free. I'm convinced that's the thing. And you can see here, I'm actually taking some layers off. It got up to about 47 degrees.
If you want full access, subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Okay, in the moment, I thought it was absolutely hilarious. How so funny, but looking back on it, that was so cringe. If you just stopped watching the video right now, I wouldn't even be offended. I decided to leave it in just to remind myself how bad, how cringy that was, and to never do it again. But we have a pretty good tee shot here.
Downside of never playing a course. I have no idea. It's a blind shot. I was gonna drive up to see, but I don't feel like going all the way around. According to the card, it's like 530 something. There's no way I reach in two. I'm gonna take a 4-iron, 5-iron, just punch it down. I'm gonna take a guess. It looks like middle of the fairway is just in between these bunkers. That's my line. Hopefully like a 190, 200 shot.
Oh, Mark, did you forget that it's 40 degrees outside and your ball goes nowhere? I'm pretty sure I took 4-iron here. I hit it like a little heavy, but it was a pretty good strike. I think that ball went 150 yards tops. I mean, I still have 160 in after a pretty good 4-iron for my second shot. So I learned my lesson, and I actually took, I think this was a 6-iron into 169. 6-iron can go anywhere from like 175, 180. So we took some extra club, and you can see it's perfect. I'll be honest with you. When I hit the ball, I already just conceded that it was OB. I thought I snap hooked it left. It somehow ended up pin high in the rough right next to the cart path. I don't know how that happens. So we have a basic chip to get up and down to save par after some mediocre shots in golf. And this is probably the most straightforward putt. And this is just, again, I'm not going to blame the greens. I'm not going to blame the weather. This was just an unfortunate break. I had a really good stroke. We're not results oriented on this channel. Love the stroke, love the line, just didn't go in. You know what? Take the bogey, move on. We are 3 over through 5. You know, my personal goal whenever I play new courses, I always like to break 85. You know, I'm a single digit handicap, and you could argue you should try to be lower than that or play to your handicap, whatever. I really just like to enjoy myself, put no pressure. However, you know, it's kind of fun to have some sort of target goal. And you're going to hear me narrate this one in particular. So here's just another example of not knowing the course. From my angle when I gunned it, I definitely saw that it was a 2-tier green and the pin was on the back tier. So I just wanted to cover the first.
Oh my God. I think that's so good. Okay, maybe not as good as I thought. But you can see what a pin. Should have taken way more club. So that's my ball there. And then I don't know if you can see this drop off. Let me get to the side of it. I mean, you drop a ball there and you're back on the fairway most likely. Look at these greens, absolutely insane. There's another drop off. This is like Pinehurst style. All right. So it looks like it's a 3-tier green. I only saw the first tier. There's another tier here. Let's make something happen, huh?
All right, so here we go. We have a pretty long putt uphill. My goal here is just to get it within a tap-in range, walk away with par, and be happy. That was the worst putt of all time. Absolute misread. I think I actually talk over the camera. I muted it, but I was basically saying I had it going the other way. Not a good putt. I guess you could argue if we're going with the logic of we're not results oriented. I hit my line. It was just not the right line and it went the other way and it was a misread. But you know what? If we can clean up 5-ish footers for 5-6 footers for par, we will take that all day. On to the next. So we're 3 over through 6. If we can hang on, I would love to break 40 in the front 9, all things considered. And I think when I was looking at the card in the back, there are some pretty cool and short holes. But anyway, let's not get ahead of ourselves. On to the next par 3. This was a dart. You're going to see me zoom in on it right here. I hit a really, really good one. I think we're finally warm. We're figuring out kind of how to calibrate for the distance. So I've been playing everything about 20 yards extra, 15 to 20 yards. So I think that was like a 160 shot, and I played that with a 6 iron. So I was playing a 175, 180, and I think I'm learning that that's the number with the cold and very slight wind. The only downside is, as you can imagine, with a really cold golf, a lot of shots, and I don't hit the ball super high anyway, but a lot of shots don't hold or stick the greens as much. So you kind of have to play it for rollout. So again, we're about 6, 7 holes in. I think I'm adjusted and I think I'm ready to try and play pretty well and go low, or as low as possible, in the final remaining kind of 12, 13 holes here. Now, this hole, I still think about this hole at night, and I actually take a little bit more time and vlog the actual course and hole itself. If I knew this course, I'd take a completely different line, but take a look.
The last tee shot was from back there. This was the thing I was trying to carry. It's about 225, 230. Look how narrow it gets. So I got maybe like a weird kick and then it funneled down into this. This is why this course is so cool, man. I have an absolutely blind shot. In hindsight, I would have just sent it that way. I think I have enough to carry. It's not a long hole at all, but obviously it's the short ones that always kill you. So that's the flag there. The guy's walking off. That's my ball there. I don't know, 80, 90 yards. All right, so there's my ball. I think it's about 90 yards, maybe 100. I've never seen this before, but there's kind of like a, let me see if I can zoom in on it. There's like a pole. If you guys can see that pole right there. That pole, I'm assuming, means that's where the flag is. It's a blind shot. I don't even know what the hell the green looks like. We're just guessing everything, but oh well, let's see.
All right, Mark, that's a lot of talk. You have a wedge in your hand. You better hit a good one here. 93 yards. Pretty sure I have gap wedge in hand. Oh boy, we leaked that super right. Not a good strike. Not a good look.
Who knows? Who knows? Do we see anything? Do we see anything? Oh boy, I missed that really right.
And I did a lot of talk of if I knew this course, I'd play it this way, that way. You got to remember as well, I'm also playing from the 6200 tee box. So if this was a normal peak day and if I played again, I'll probably be scooted back to the 6700 box. So maybe I don't take that line. I don't think I have enough to carry from there. But anyway, we do get up and down, and I'm really, really happy with par there. On to the final finishing hole. And I don't know if I did a good enough job explaining this, but I don't know if you've noticed how some holes are narrow with trees, some are open. It does a really good job balancing that. But anyway, yeah, I'll try to call it out.
Tee shot over there. That's my ball. But you can see it's all uphill. It's a blind shot, so I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm going to walk this a little bit. Let's walk it together. Oh, beautiful hole. Look at that green. So it looks like it's a middle back. All funnels back down. So the miss is short and right. It looks like it funnels. We can go at it. Oh, we shouldn't go at it. Okay, here we go.
Oh, Mike, you course designer, you. Again, I guess blind shots was his thing. It's just another one. There's obviously going to be a few more, but it's just funny. I've never played a course with this many blind shots, and I guess you could argue if I'm a longer hitter and it's a lot further up, maybe it's not blind, so maybe it's on me for not hitting it far. Point being, I think it just adds another kind of cool experience to the course where, especially if you've never played, it's just a guessing game. Trust your distances, trust your lines. I actually found that really fascinating and it was really different for me, so I definitely enjoyed it. On to hole 10, I didn't stop at the turn. We just kept on going. And this was another one of the holes that just really stood out to me. I think this is such a cool designed hole. You have water all to your right. It looks narrow because there's a bunch of trees, but it's also the most open fairway tee shot you could imagine.
High risk, high reward. Second shot in a par 5. You can see it's a huge bunker. It's 190 to cover, 195 to cover that. It's about 210 to the pin. It's exactly what this club goes. So if I hit it good, don't have to swing hard, just swing good. This should be perfect.
And I don't know about you all, but you know that saying, like the reason people come back to golf is that one really flush, really good shot incoming. This is that flush shot for me where I pick a certain target in the tree line. I have a shot shape in mind, and I know I can hit this shot. So there's no better feeling than being able to visualize something and then putting it into action.
All right, so that was the second shot there. I'm standing on the hill in the bunker. I don't think you guys understand. That's the pin right there. I'm not kidding, I think I hit like that. And then it just rolled all the way down there. If I had just even another 3 yards, I think it softly rolls and funnels down. God, that's golf for you though, man. That is golf in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen. And we haven't been to the bunker yet. Super delicate shot.
And so, yeah, I said earlier how we're not results oriented. That golf strike, I am not mad one bit. It had the shot shape, it had enough. I'm going to blame it on the cold weather. If it's not cold, I think it carries. If you remember me pointing out the certain spots, I basically hit into the upslope on that bunker hill. And if I somehow carried it another 2, 3 yards, I think it hits like the top of the bunker, maybe even the downslope, and I think it rolls and funnels on. And by the way, I almost birdied it anyway. That was a ridiculous putt. The putting stroke's starting to feel good, so we will take a par. Obviously, we would have loved to take advantage of a shorter 5, especially after a really good drive. But you know what? Just not how it works out, not the way it was meant to be. Let's move on to the next one. We have a super short par 4. I was thinking about it and cutting up the film. Out of all the holes, like this one, it was like a basic hole to me. I'm gonna try to highlight the green side bunkers. I think that's what the cool part of this hole is. But incoming dart alert, I told you, I'm starting to calibrate. I think I understand the adjustments and what distance I need. So yeah, take a look at this one.
As we're walking up to what I'm going to drain this putt, but as we're walking up, just look how cool it's elevation slopes, huge bunker. This is like 20 feet high, 15 feet high. I don't even know. But yeah, this course is special, man. This course is special. It'd be even more special if we drain this birdie.
So yeah, it's funny how from the tee box, I'm like, what a basic, boring hole. But then looking at it from the other side and appreciating the elevation, slopes, those bunkers, what a cool golf hole. And you're gonna see me overthink this 3-footer.
Yeah, I think I got it going right center.
Mark, there's no way that hole 2 is still stuck in your mind, is there? A little 3.5 footer for birdie? No way, Mark. No way. But you know what? We learned from our mistakes. I overanalyzed this, and we end up hitting a perfect putt. We have our first birdie of the day, comes on a great approach shot. And I don't know if I talked about that approach shot enough. So I had about 120 with an uphill. I do not have slope on my rangefinder, so I was kind of guessing the slope there. I took an 8 iron, which is like my 150 club, with the slope as well as the wind and the cold. I think I hit it like 145, 150, and you saw it was pretty perfect. So I think 20 yards is a really good number, 15 to 20 yards, even as it's heated up a little bit. But anyway, back to the course. The only downside of this course, pet peeve, there are certain holes, and you can see it on this one, it kind of intertwines with the neighborhood. So you can see there's townhomes to the left. You're going to see a few single family residential homes coming up on some other holes. I think that's the only downside of this course. If I had to nitpick at something, it's like you have 14, 15 holes of pure just woods, water, everything's perfect. But then you do have a few holes that you know you're kind of like in a neighborhood. And if I snap hook that into someone's backyard, I don't know. Just not a big fan of having homes like in the area. You can see here the next hole as well. There's homes in the back. So am I nitpicking? Sure, but it's just one of those things where everyone, especially if you're an avid golfer, everyone should have their own kind of preferences around aesthetics and et cetera, et cetera. So mine is just, I don't like houses. Get over it. Anyway, moving on.
40 yard pin. You can see it's all like an upslope this first half. It's about 30 to cover. So I might go upstairs, play like a higher flop, hope I get it there. 56 degree.
And just to toot my horn a little bit, I mentioned I played really well earlier. It's little shots like this where the degree of difficulty, given that there's a tiered green, I have to flop it high. The greens aren't really holding. I mean, this was 10 out of 10.
Yeah, we'll take that. Looks about 7-8 feet.
And I'll take that. I'll take that all day. 7-8 feet for birdie. But of course, on this course, there's no such thing as a straight easy putt. Now, I had this putt going left to right. I had it about one cup out, and I think I hit my line. But I don't think I did a good enough job explaining like how. Look at this. I don't think I did a good enough job explaining how tough the greens were. I barely tapped that, and that thing snapped on me. That was probably like 3 cups out. You're going to see in a few holes or some putts where it's like I'm starting it 10 cups left or right. Actually, it's going to be this hole. I want to really focus on this putt. Going back to an earlier point I made. Remember when I told you I didn't know the course, what was down there? I just sent this. I didn't even look at the map. I just sent it. Take a look at where this ball ended up.
Short 4. This is when you're just lucky. It was a blind, well, I won't say blind tee shot. I just had no idea what I'm doing. Look how narrow this window is. This is probably a 25-yard window, and I somehow just found the center. That's lucky.
Well, I mean, what am I saying is it's better to be lucky than good. And speaking of blind shots, here's another one. Elevated green. I had to walk up to actually look at the green, and so I had an idea of how tiny it was and the shot I had to hit, but yeah.
All right, walking up the hill from that last wedge shot. I thought I hit it good. Let's see. It's funny, a lot of blind shots you don't know. Oh, that's actually pretty good. I thought it was super tight. I don't want to say I'm disappointed. Obviously, we still have a putt for birdie, but
All right, I want everyone to pay attention to this putt. I had it going right to left. You can see where I'm lined up, but this is how ridiculous some of the putts were. To top it off, it was all downhill, but just take a look at this putt where I started and where the ball ends up. God, first off, that's a birdie, no big deal. But that ball, you had to pretty much side door it in at like 3 o'clock. I somehow caught it, and you could see it did like a little loop to catch. And if I don't catch that hole, I'm 99.9% convinced it would have either hit that flag stick and kept going. It might have even de-greened. So that was a really, really lucky putt. And again, better to be lucky than good. But on to the next final 4 holes. We have a par 3 here. We hit a pretty good one. You can see I actually zoom in on it. I really liked it, but I thought what was really perfect, it landed great. It just kept drawing and going really, really far. This was like a 25 footer. I don't know if the camera actually looks like a 25 footer. And what a blunder on my end. I will be completely honest. A small part of me was like, hey, Mark, don't leave it short. Back-to-back birdies would be great. I have this stupid saying, and I tell a lot of my friends, I'd rather 3-putt for bogey than leave a birdie short. Well, good job, Mark. You got your wish. There's the 3-putt. Not too mad at it. The initial shot, yes, I hit the green, but that wasn't the easiest putt. And then it's just funny how golf's a mental game. So that 3-putt, that 3-putt mistake, the tracer was very lenient there. That ball maybe didn't get over 15 feet. It was like I shanked it basically.
that's how bad the drive was. This is pretty much just a layup, trying to get it maybe like 200, 210, and then just chip on.
I think I cut out the earlier part where I was basically saying my drive. I think my drive went like 190 yards. It was just a worm burner. The funny part is I'm actually still center fairway, so we'll make it work. So my goal, take your medicine, lay up, and just try to get up and down for par.
Yeah. What an absolute disaster. I somehow clocked that thing. I'm in the bunker. I think the bunker must have been like 230. I mean, I can hit that hybrid pretty good, but that's top of my range. This is not an easy bunker shot. I'm kind of staring double in the face. Let's damage control. If I can get up and down for par, I'm stealing one. Up and 2-putt for bogey. I'm actually very happy with that outcome. Come on.
And this is a pretty intimidating bunker shot. You can see how tall it is. I'm not a tall guy, but like this is a taller bunker. And that's another thing about this course. You're in the bunker, just good luck. Some of them are just like yikes.
Yeah, that wasn't very good. I got like 20 feet left. I was just so worried about getting it up. Haha, that's what she said. That distance control wasn't a big deal. We got it out. Let's try to salvage a 2-putt. Take a bogey, move on.
So I think you all remember I said earlier, if I end up parring this hole, we stole one. I mean, the definition of just bad golf, but a par is a par. Mark, no way you're setting it up for a 35, 40 footer for par, are you? Mark, seriously, don't do it to us. Oh my God. I thought I did it. All the golfers out there on long putts, you know, when the ball is just tracking, 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 and you get a little funny feeling in your stomach, like, oh, that's going in. I had that about 15, 20 feet out, and then of course it just kind of hung out on me. Again, we are not mad at that. We will take bogey after some really bad golf shots, to be frank. But the final two holes, these might be two of the most memorable holes of a golf course that I can remember. So remember I told you earlier that some of the holes, even though it looks narrow with tree lines, there's some water and creek and whatnot, it like looks visually open, but it's narrow, if that makes sense. So this was like a open, narrow hole, and this approach shot, so cool. I'm gonna highlight it in just a moment, but it really makes you value position. It also makes you try to have like this risk reward action. Because I'm playing the forward tees, I had a pretty good look at it. So yeah, we're gonna take a look.
All right, so the shot was from back there. You can see we're walking up to it, but that is not a fun putt. I mean, just eyeball test, that's 40 feet. I mean, hey, we have an eagle putt, so I don't know why I'm complaining.
All right, so for those that follow the channel, you know I'm not a long hitter, but I really pride myself on being pretty good around the greens, whether if that's getting up and down, trying to limit 3 putts. This was one of the putts when I was looking at it. I actually, and this shouldn't, not exactly the best thought going in, but I actually told myself a 3 putt is completely okay here with how ridiculous this was. I had it going right to left. I had it way too far out right and way too fast. That was just a misread on me. We have about a 9 footer for birdie to try and clean this up. And so if I make this, I will be on cloud 9. But it's one of those putts. Look at that, really good putt. It actually ended up on the other side of the hole, but I'm not mad at this 3 putt one bit for some reason. Usually I get mad, but I wasn't on this one. So anyway, on to the final hole. Let's take a look at it as we're transitioning.
Just enjoy. This is the transition. That's the 17 green we just finished. This is now the 18 finishing hole. You can see the clubhouse over there. I mean, I wish I could just describe to you the feel right now. It's so like peaceful. It's open. You know you're on a golf course, but you also know it's like, I mean, I can't even explain it. I don't know. It's gorgeous.
Okay, so for some weird reason, I remember I didn't look at my phone in the Grint to see what the map was of this hole. I decided just to send it. I don't know why. It just looked inviting. In hindsight, that was stupid because there's water. On a hot day, I definitely go in, but just take a look at how lucky I am. Better to be lucky than good.
All right. This is the approach shot for 18. I'm just lucky. I had no idea that water came into play. I know I hit a good drive. Just take a look. I mean, that's you can't place that ball any better. I'll gun it if I guess 90 yards, 80 yards.
Guys, can you just soak in this approach shot? Look at this approach. This is like a postcard right here. You have the reflection on the water of the clubhouse with, I'm really curious what this would look like in the peak summertime as well. But I have a very straightforward shot at about 101. I need 90 to cover, and we do that. We do that. What an absolute disaster and waste of a good tee shot. You know what? We decide it's funny. I could probably take it a drop a little further up, point of entry is a little bit further up, like another 20 yards. But this approach shot was just so cool that I was like, we're going to take another one from here. So we are now hitting for par, which, like I said earlier, golfer B is on tour. Take a look at this shot as I zoom in onto it. You always wish you can do it the first time, but you know what? We can try to save bogey after I show you this dart. And as I'm zooming in and showing it to you, that's like 2 feet, 2, 3 feet. It
Oopsies.
was really, really close. But as I'm recapping the round and I'm taking on this final drive, and even just look at the rocks, little rocks here. There was a lot of rock walls and rock walkways, these high, tall grass and bushes. I mean, look at this. Look how visually appealing this final hole is. As I'm kind of wrapping up the round in my head and giving the breakdown, I mean, like I told you earlier, this was probably the most unique experience that I had in the state of Virginia for sure, but maybe in the entire year. There was just something about the type of course, the style, the blind shots mixed with the narrow and openness. I know a lot of people use this phrase to explain it, but I think it's spot on for this course. This was very tough but fair. So obviously you can play position golf, try to make putts, but man, oh man, what a course. I hope you liked this video. Happy New Year's to you all. If you liked what you saw, like, comment, subscribe, and the next video I have coming out will be Kings Mill River.